This week we will be reviewing and discussing Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. So would you like to hear us try and figure out what the absolute fuck is going on in this batshit crazy bonkers movie? If you do, then stick around. Hello and welcome to Middle Age Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Daz, and that is Phil. And this week we are reviewing Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. So I'm going to attempt to try and give a synopsis of this movie. I'm first going to read out what Wikipedia says. And it says, this movie is directed by Gore Verbinski and written by Matthew Robinson. It stars Sam Rockwell, Haley Lou Robinson, Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz, and Juno Temple. And it follows a man from the future who travels to the past to recruit patrons of a Los Angeles diner to help combat a rogue artificial intelligence. Now, what?
I suppose that's not too bad of a synopsis, considering how bananas this movie is.
Yeah, that's like that. That doesn't quite do it justice. So, I mean, before I get your initial thoughts, Phil, I'm going to try and just give a brief setup to the movie then. So the movie opens in Norm's Diner in Los Angeles, and it's just ordinary people having coffee on their phones, and in walks Sam Rockwell dressed in what only can be described as like plastic and wires.
Yeah, it's like a shower curtain.
Shower curtain around him, plastic jacket. And it looks like he has kind of a bomb with a little timer in his hands. And he announces to everyone, this is not a robbery. I am actually from the future. I'm here to save you from the impending apocalypse. And he tells us it's his 117th time traveling back in time to try and save these people. And he needs a specific group, a specific combination of people from the diner that'll help him stop the birth of AI and the end of humanity. And that's the hook. And honestly, it starts so strong, and I was locked in immediately from that. And we'll get into the rest of this madness. But what were your thoughts then, initially, walking out of the cinema?
Yeah, like I was bamboozled by the whole thing. It was just such an assault on senses. I loved it. I really did. I like Gore Verbinski's movies, even like The Lone Ranger, which isn't a great movie. It's still a lot of fun. And like, you look at his other ones as well. Like Rango's one of his, I think, as well. And the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, and Pirates of the Caribbean did a couple of those too, as well. And it's just fun. The fucking the script is just off the wall. I think it changed a bit here and there. Like I think they were starting off, and it was basically a concept of this a teacher kind of get through to his students or whatever, and then they just kind of with the prevalence of AI, they were look, this is a great time to work that into the story. And so but apparently like Gore Verbinski wasn't even the first choice for the director. Like a bunch of people had turned it down or went up for it. And I'm delighted that he chose it now. This is it was a blast. And like what I loved about it is that it's you said like that start of it that you just described, that is the most normal part of the movie. Where they make it gets progressively more nuts as we get on to the end. Like it doesn't stop and get a little less nuts. No, it's nuts. So it just keeps getting more and more nutty the whole way through. And I was loving it. I love the performances. Like I'm such a fan of Juno Temple. So good. He's fantastic. Sam Rockwell was obviously just told to do your thing because he's just fucking brilliant. He's so good. Really. I really enjoyed it. Like I have a few beefs that we'll get into as we go through it, but overall, I really enjoyed it. What about yourself?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's full of great characters, great moments. Like it's funny, it's chaotic, it's kind of messy. Script-wise, a bit messy. Yeah, at times it's very inventive, but then sometimes it does feel kind of painfully familiar. And unfortunately, that is the times we live in with Black Mirror. And
well, that's it. I felt like the stuff in this is directly from Black Mirror, and this felt like Black Mirror mixed with a slapstick comedy, like the two of them just melded together. And that's exactly it. I think there's been so many episodes of Black Mirror and so many satirical takes on the world that we live in today with social media and AI and all that stuff that there's not really that many fresh takes. Well, it feels like there's not that many fresh takes to have on this stuff. Even Black Mirror are rehashing the same kind of ground that they've gone over with regards to technology bad.
So, I think I read somewhere that initially as well, this was kind of penned as a 30-minute TV pilot or 25-minute or whatever the time is, and kind of just evolved into a script from there. And I think like at times, like the symbolism is kind of painfully on the nose at times with some of the Black Mirror stuff and some of the schools and AI and people addicted to their phones. It's like we've kind of seen it before, but there is kind of a fresh madness coating the whole thing. which is kind of delicious. It reminded me of a movie that you'd see in the mid-90s or something. It's just like, this is fucking, it's just bananas. Like, and it's delightful to watch it in the cinema and just going, I'm just so happy this got made. It's just like, how
well, that's
the
it.
fuck does it get made? It's crazy. Like,
That's exactly it. Because I thought the same thing, and I was watching it. I was like, thank God that they get, because, but I think probably it was because he got Gore Verbinski signed on with his usual writing partner and stuff, and they were like, okay, we'll go ahead. We'll give them the money, because it was 20 million, which I think was well spent considering some of the big stars in this and how it looks. But like that, I was like, 'cause I haven't seen a good time loop movie in a while, like one that I really, really enjoyed, or one that was fun anyway. And this really was fun. And like, okay, we don't get to see all of his previous, what you said at the start, 117 times or something like that. We don't get to see all the previous ones, but I still love the idea because we still get talked through it. And yeah, like I think I understood it, most of it. I think as we discussed it, I did get a little bit confused towards it a little bit at the end. I mean, I got it, but I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not quite sure if I understand. No, I definitely know. I don't really understand what the fuck is going on in the last act of this movie, but the last 20 minutes are so ridiculously bonkers. I just, my jaw was dropped in the cinema. Just like, I cannot believe what the fuck is going on here, to a point that like I was so entertained, I didn't realize, or I still don't know if the last 20 minutes is absolutely fantastic or utter shite. I don't know what I was.
But isn't that what people say about Everything Everywhere All at Once? You know, a lot of people said the same thing. God, like, what the fuck is, like, the sausage fingers and all this kind of people. Like, what the fuck is going on? The Raccoonie.
But it works.
But it works, yeah. And I think you can go nuts, and it can kind of be, this was a bad choice, or you can go nuts and it works on, and it did. It worked for the most part. This worked.
Yeah, we will get into that in spoilers, but I do think like there's one final rug pull in the movie that I wish they didn't do that and just ended it on a nicer moment a minute earlier, and then I would have been much more happy. But we'll get to that kind of stuff. You touched on Sam Rockwell. The cast is great in this. It's a lovely little ensemble group that they go on their little adventure. But Sam Rockwell is he's just great. He brings such warmth and weirdness to this and makes this unhinged time traveler seem so oddly relatable and believable. It's just like, just Sam Rockwell doing his thing. But Juno Temple plays a grieving mother who lost her son in a school shooting, and that is not as straightforward as it seems. Given this movie, that little vignette does indeed turn into absolute madness as well. But she was really good. Like Haley Lou Richardson as well plays Ingrid, like a depressed kind of rent-a-princess performer who is almost allergic to technology, and it's just, she's excellent. And I just loved the fact that when we get these flashbacks of these characters, it is very reminiscent of Black Mirror, but at times kind of get lost in that little moment, those little few minutes you are with these people in the minutes or months before they get to the diner, that you almost want to stay there a bit more. You're just kind of going, that's such an interesting premise that, like, if you could explore that more, you just straight away, you're just reminded of Black Mirror, and you wouldn't mind a 45-minute version of their story.
I echo what you said. I think that those little vignettes that we kind of get with little backgrounds on the characters and stuff, that's where the emotional kind of, for me, best emotional weight comes from. As you said, Haley Lou Richardson's character and her, her fella, and the other character she gets introduced with. I think for me, the performances are all great. Michael Pena, as always, I love him as that kind of, he's real kind of fucking nervous and everything at the start as the substitute teacher. I thought I loved the energy. I loved him. What I was pissed off about it was that Zazie Beetz' character was just, like, it's just, she didn't really need to be in the movie. Like, and it's such a shame because
two of them play the same role.
Yeah. It's such a shame because she's a wonderful actor, and like you see some of the range that she has for everything she can do, comedy and action and everything. That she's fantastic, and I would have just loved to see her get a stronger character, because that character was just a bit forgettable, which is kind of a bummer.
Towards the end of the movie, then they kind of play up the Michael Pena and her kind of relationship, and it's like, just
you haven't got enough in, but there's not enough background on them. Exactly, that's not a payoff for us, because you haven't given us enough of their relationship to begin with. So what you're giving us at the end isn't so much of a, that's a great reward or great finish, arc to their story, a great finish. It's like, you didn't really build it up in the first place. So, but I thought, look, I'm a fan of the cast in general. It's fantastic in this. And so, yeah, I was very, very happy for the most part with the people actually got decent developed characters. I loved because you said at the start, he's done it a bunch of times. I love the fact that he knows people's names and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, Gerald! Put your goddamn hand down.
Yeah.
It's just it's
very funny. Yeah.
It is, and that was brilliant. And there's some proper laugh out moments like that. Like.
Yeah, there's a lovely moment where he tells somebody how much change they have in their pocket, and they're just like, when they don't believe him, and he's like, "What the fuck, 47 cents?" Just little moments like that. Like Sam Rockwell he's the rock and the core of the movie, and I love when you see a movie like that when you can't imagine someone else playing it as well. It's just darkly brilliant. Yeah, I thought it was shot pretty well. It's a weird one with this because at times you can see the lack of a budget, whereas kind of some of the sets are quite small scale, but then there's other sequences like the diner and the final act is where they kind of throw a lot of the money. From a visual effects point of view, some of it looks fucking excellent. Some of it looks like wildly incoherent and a bit haphazard in how they're kind of conveying the visuals.
I'm fairly sure I'd be right in saying that I don't want to give away the spoiler part, but that there's a stop motion animation to one of the things. We'll get to that in the spoiler section, which I absolutely loved because I love stop motion stuff. When I go back to watch, say, like, your RoboCop movies, and you've got Ed 209 fight RoboCop and that stop motion little minifigure stuff. I love all that. But for the most part, I thought the effects looked good, mostly considering the budget. But the cinematography was great. I guess it's because it's set in like a very near future. Like, it's not set exactly in present day, because some of the technology they're talking about, in this is maybe a little bit down the line, that didn't really do anything to show that the future, like, no one's driving futuristic cars. Like, at least in Black Mirror, someone gets in, they start their car up, and obviously it's an electric car, or they'll make an effort to show you we're 10, 15, 20 years in the future. In this, there's nothing really. It's almost like, it is present day, and they've just added some particular super sci-fi stuff, but everything else is real of the day, of the moments. That was a little bit weird. I guess they just said, fuck it. Like, we're only doing near future, so let's not blow the budget. There's a really lovely shot, kind of one of the vignettes and in the snow and stuff like that, which I really enjoyed. That was lovely. Yeah,
towards the end, in terms of visual effects, like, there's one sequence could be really impressive, and then there's another sequence kind of with wires chasing people, and it's just like that. Just looks like you ran out of budget.
I think, given the stars that are in this, I would be interested to know how much of that 20 million went on the effects. Because for a movie like this, which is about the future and not going science fiction stuff, you would expect the budget to be heavy enough on it. But I can't imagine they had a lot left after paying all these decent stars. I
thought the audio and sound design was pretty cool. And the score was pretty fun, kind of quirky, zany and whimsical at times. And I think it totally suited the movie.
You can tell, like, I think he's done work with Danny Elfman and stuff before, and I know he's worked on, like, as a composer kind of after the fact, additional score to some of Gore Verbinski's stuff before as well. So obviously he has a good idea of what he wants. And I think, you get that vibe from it. I enjoyed it. I don't think there was any standout pieces from it that I was like, oh, fucking I must look that up. But overall, it was fine. It was fun. Like, I think it was fun, which was really, that suited what the kind of movie was going for,
So, I guess before we get into spoilers, then, do you want to put a star rating on this?
Yeah, I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go 4 because I do have a few beefs with it that wouldn't just push it up that much higher. But I think 4 because I will 100% watch it again. The performances are just outrageous. It's so much fun. And I'm sure watching it again, I will find a bunch of stuff that I missed. Because it's a time loop movie, because it's like, I'm sure there's a bunch of shit in there that I'll be able to pick up on if I watch it again. So
I echo your thoughts. I think it's a 4 from me as well. I just really enjoyed it. It's just wild, wacky ride, suitably bonkers and just wildly absurd at times, where I was just in awe at just the madness on show. So good luck, have fun, don't die. 4 stars from both of us. It's wild, it's funny, it's inventive, it's baffling, and somehow both originally and something you've absolutely seen before. But that's a good thing. So let's get into spoilers then, because there's quite a lot of spoilers. There's a giant cat turns up that's half minotaur cat with a cat head, and its neck is made of kittens. And when it just arrives, cock and balls. It's like
it's
what?
It's shooting glitter out of its penis. But I think that's what as I said, it gets progressively more and more mad. Like, at the start, you feel like we're in the real world. But as we go on and it gets more and more out there, start going, well, are we in the real world, or is this a simulation? Is this because, you know, he mentions when he shows up, he mentions a prompt. So he said each time it's something different, which makes me believe that the group that he's with, they're the ones who are imagining what comes up. Because one of them says, well, what if it's a centaur? And your one says, what if it's a kitten? What if it's just a pug? And they're saying these things, and he says like something about being what a weird prompt, or he says something along those lines, which makes me think that, okay, whatever characters are with him at the time, it's their combination of mad shit that they're wondering what's going to show up next as their final boss is what shows up. You know, because that's what they mention. They mention Centaur, and it's got 4 horse legs, and one that mentions cats, and it is a big, huge cat head. And I think that's what they were going for, and that's maybe think more of, okay, it is a simulation that they're in.
I love the fact that like they just have to get from the diner to this kid's house, a 9-year-old kid, and that's the end goal. Get to this kid and not kill him. It's just like, we need to plug this USB drive in to his computer, because the whole message is you cannot escape this, you can't stop it, the inevitability of it all, which is great. When he sets out that as your mission, you're kind of like, oh, okay, and you're visualizing what's to come in your head, like this should be a fun thing, and nothing like that. It's just like thinking like, oh, they're going into some kid's house and just going to find his computer. But there's so many stages where as you say, it gets progressively madder, but there's like the symbolism being so heavy-handed where that works is like when they're inside the house and they're being attacked from the house, and it's almost like a zombie movie where there's hands smashing through walls and windows and stuff, but it's just all a bunch of students who are zombified on their phones. And it's like, that symbolism is just like, that's really fucking cool. But then when the cat arrives, it's giant, enormous cat that's like fucking 40 feet tall. At that point, I'm like, where did that come from? Because he mentions something very vaguely about 3D printing or something, or AI is doing it. It's like, yeah, but how's that cat there? Like,
yeah, I'm not sure where the I don't know
if
there's a transition at some point where they go from, like, are they in the thing the whole time, the simulation, or is it only part of it, or what exactly is it? Maybe is it getting weirder as it goes on because they're getting closer to the source, closer to the AI, and that rug pull, as you said at the end, where they think that they're out. And then you see her nose starts to bleed because she's had a reaction. And you go, oh shit, they're still in the simulation. But the hope is that, like, this is the furthest that Sam Rockwell has gotten before. Yeah. And now he finds out that it's not just him that's been going time traveling the whole time. The AI has been time traveling as well. And that's why it's been stopping. And that's why it has these 2 fucking dudes who are showing up. Maybe that's why it's able to open its program and allow this big fucking giraffe cat monster thing, you know, come in and which is just hilarious when it comes in eating people. Brilliant. But the hope kind of there is that now when he realizes that, he cops on, he goes, oh, it's too convenient, because he drops a line earlier on saying, you know, everybody, if everything, it wants to give you what the best version of everything is. So if it's too good to be true, basically, then it is. And he sees that, he goes, hang on a second, everybody's getting what they want. Her son is back. You know, her fella is back. It's way too. So he knows, he can see that this is it. And so he presses the button and he starts the loop again. But now he knows that the AI has also traveled back in time with him as well. And he knows all this stuff ahead of time. So you're kind of hoping he knows to go to his Haley Richardson, who we find out is his mother. We know that he goes to her for the first time in all those trips. This time he goes to her and brings her into us. The next time he goes directly to her to get her on board, going, look, you know, now maybe it can work. So I don't know. I think maybe that for me, that left it with a bit of hope that maybe their next trip. Yeah. Or is that a bit too quantum leap that the next leap will be the leap?
That's why it was just one too many. That just reminded me of like Quantum Leap or just, you know, the Outer Limits or Twilight Zone. It was a bit kind of TV. Oh, here's another one where, and which is strange because I like that kind of stuff generally when it's like, oh, he's actually going into the loop again. But there was something in me that just liked that bittersweet ending for him, and then maybe rather than just go full into another kind of 90 seconds of, oh, everything's too perfect, give us some kind of tease that something's wrong, because he did say at one point, he was just like, something's not right here. And they just left it at that and then ended like it was all sweet. And it's like, oh no, but he thought something was wrong before he died or something.
This is where that's the part I wanted to spoil was the that little robot that picks up the knife. Like for me, unless it was just the special effects were just made it to look that way, when he was messing around picking up the knife and trying to hold all the rest of it looked super stop motion. And not for the whole lot of it. Most of them, those robots and him all looked generated. It almost looked like something out of Toy Story, when all those things come out from under the bed. Yeah.
One of my, like, that's why I was saying, like, at times it feels very kind of fresh and inventive, and other times it does, derivative is not the right word, but it reminds you of, obviously, Black Mirror, and there's, like, Terminator elements in there, the kind of 12 Monkeys as well, with the style, that's the Terry Gilliam stuff. And then Toy Story, all those toys, just like, I'm pretty sure I've seen all those toys before.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff in here that is derivative, but that I'm pretty sure that when the effects for when that robot is messing around with that knife, for me, that looked like it was stop motion. I forgot to look it up, but I must check it out and see if it is, but I just loved how that looked. It just really took me back to those, to the 80s movies of robots kicking the shit out of each other.
Yeah, but like, the Juno Temple's kind of vignette storyline I thought was fantastic. Again, it's very kind of heavy-handed at times, but it's darkly brilliant as well. The fact that she lost her son in a school shooting, and then straight away there's these women arrive at the school and they're all just kind of weird, and you give her a card and she goes to this place and gets her son cloned, and it's all just fucking very weird. And guy, just the process of going through it, and you get to pick like different personality traits, and they're saying like, oh, we'll get the physical ripe and the personality, we're not quite there yet, but you get to pick like 2 traits that he has. He's weird and he's sporty or something. The whole thing where he's like, it's subsidized by the government, but if you want it subsidized more, you can have
ads.
You get a model with ads.
But both that vignette though takes 2 exact plots from Black Mirror. Like one of them is the one where Donald Gleason's in it. And
I remember that one, yeah.
Hayley Atwell, she gets a copy of him back because he dies, and she gets another thing of him back. And we've seen this in other movies where someone dies and they get maybe it's a robot, or maybe it's just fucking, Pet Cemetery and the fucking, zombie child or whatever it happens to be, but it comes back and it's not quite the same. Yeah. So they've taken, that's almost exactly for that episode. But then the stuff with the ads in it is from the last season of Black Mirror when...
I hadn't seen that one.
Well, so it's a great episode. It's Rashida Jones and Chris O'Dowd. And cool. Like that, she has a horrible injury. And so there's this company that are able to fix it, give you this thing, but it's a subscription based. And it's like a lot of things we get nowadays. So it's a whole piss take on that, how it starts off, you pay a certain amount, you get your prescription. But then they go, actually, now we've got, say Vodafone Premium. And so you can still keep your other one on the same price, but now it has ads. So every now and again, Rashida Jones pops up with an ad. She just sitting there in the chat. All of a sudden, she just comes out with an ad, and it's exactly it. Like it's taken exactly from it. So there's a lot of that in there. I think if you're watching, I'm sure the writers must be Black Mirror fans because you're taking stuff directly from there.
And it must be just so hard to come up with something fresh in that regard. But I did think like the best part of that, again, very heavy-handed, when Susan goes to one of there's a party at a mansion from the company, and she meets other parents who have cloned children, and she meets a couple, and they have they're like, oh yeah, no, this is our 4th one, but this time we decided to go a little weird with it and have a bit of fun and program it to be a Muslim, and
the fact that they're laughing about, and we decided, we made him a little racist. He goes, oh, it's so funny, isn't it? And they're laughing about they've made her racist. Oh, we made her super tall, like obnoxiously tall for no reason. So we might as well have a bit of fun with it, It's just
because that sequence alone is just like it's such a brilliant sketch. But then the fact that it ends and they're just like, oh my God, she's like, you this is your 4th time you lost 4 children. Just like, no, this is the first one 4 times at 4 school shootings. Yeah. Even the clone got killed in a school shooting. It's so commonplace that like, everything's okay with it. And even when the school shooting's happening, you have all the kids are just hiding in a room and they're all still on their phones, just not giving a shit because just That's the darkly dystopian element to it.
I think that was that actor. I don't know her. I don't know her from anything that does that couple. I'm not sure I've seen them in anything before, but the pain in her face because she's trying to explain and she says, but because that's all we can really do is to just make the best of things, and it's just. There was just that moment of weakness from the jovial two parents who, they've just basically cloning this kid that's going to get killed in another school shooting. They've made it Muslim and stuff, and she's just this is her way of coping with the loss. And you get that split second of it on her face, that look of pain and pleading as she's looking at Juno Temple, and then we're cut off from it. But it was just, I just thought I was blown away just for this one tiny little part of the actor. She nailed the vibe of that totally.
Yeah, and there, even though those kind of vignettes are so familiar, there's still, even when Michael Pena and he's just when he walks into the classroom and just all the kids just on their fucking phones, proper like drones, and when he touches one of their screens because he gets lured in, and then they all turn and kind of follow him, and it's just creepy and it's weird, but it's just the scariest thing was that just how do you fight technology in a classroom? If there are no rules about phones and access to phones, just like that alone, you're kind of going, that is scarily we're on the doorstep of that kind of shit, which is terrifying if you're a dad. Another one I wanted to ask you about is when Ingrid's partner, when they are living this analog life, and it's great, and I love the whole idea that he still, even though he's against technology, her boyfriend still gets sucked into a headset and eventually decides he wants to transition fully into that world or whatever. How did he get the headset? It just arrives at his house and he goes, no, I didn't order anything, and just puts it on. It's just like, did he order it? Again, you're just going,
well, that's why I think it's the AI. The AI is the one who sent the two goons in the pig masks. The AI, I think, is the one who sent that because it's trying to disrupt her life, that kind of stuff. So I think maybe by introducing this thing, maybe she just maybe she doesn't get pregnant, or maybe something else happens. Maybe he convinces her to get it, or something along those lines. I think the AI is doing these things all along. I think the AI is the one that put this program into the kids' phones that would make them all things. So I think it's got all these fucking moving parts because we find out it's been able to travel back to the past as well as him, and that's why it's so inevitable.
It's such a shame sometimes with sci-fi movies where it's not exactly telegraphed, but there are moments in the script where it lets you know that Ingrid is very integral to the plot. They say something about that where like, he doesn't want to pick you because you're important or something. It's just like, okay, she's his mother. Like you just know straight away. As mad as that seems, it's just such a, not so much a trope, but it's just something that your mind just goes there straight away and just going, I know that's for repeat viewing. If you watch it back, you kind of go, see, but you guess it fucking straight away. But that's kind of the emotional twist to the whole movie, that even though you see it coming, it kind of works. Sam Rockwell's flashback to when he's a kid in the future. And that's just so sad that he ventures out and he says even he was tempted by technology when he leaves a bunker with his mother in it to go out and pick up a headset, and then a drone finds him and then fires a missile that blows up and kills his mother. And that's in the fucking trailer as well, which I just watched. Yeah. They show the missiles flying past the kid.
I'm so glad I knew nothing about this movie when going into it.
I guess then we'll finish up then with the last 10 minutes of wires and the kid and that room that they're in, and it's just absolutely fucking mental. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder, and obviously visually they've just gone, fuck it, let's just go crazy. In the cinema I didn't know what was happening, and it's just bonkers. Did you make any sense of it?
Well, the fact that the kid, like, as we know that he goes in, the parents weren't actually parents. They're obviously, again, hired by the AI, but when they go into the room, the AI has that barcode on the back of his neck, so he's just a clone that the AI took and made into himself, basically. And so he's always going to be there. Like, that whole fucking mess of wires on the place, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, it was absolutely bananas visually. It's like, what the fuck? But I love the look of that room. The fact that it's like these walls could be fake. Is it what's fake in there? And the walls are actually fake. And they go down into this big, huge room. I love the whole vibe of that. Him on top of this mountain of cables and this keyboard banging away. It was just so, I don't know, just so fucking weird. I just loved it. Like, I really, really love that whole visual of it. Because I'm not like sure what am I expecting to see, because we just know we know that it's a 9-year-old kid that he has to stop. And so I was wondering, is it going to be a 9-year-old kid who has no idea what he's about to do? Or what is it we're going to see? Is a kid who's going to listen? Like Miles Dyson, like he has no idea he's going to bring about, Skynet's going to bring about the end of the world, so he's just a regular dude. So I was wondering, is it just going to be a regular kid
Yeah.
No regular kid. This is a bald ass 9-year-old who's sitting on top of a pile of cables, eating Cheetos and banging away on the keyboard. It's fucking brilliant.
But yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up there. 4 stars from both of us. A wild, wacky, mental, bonkers ride of a movie that is chaotic, ambitious, fun, stuffed with ideas. Rockwell is excellent. The set pieces are creative. Some of the visuals are genuinely striking, including the cock and balls on a cat. And it has a cast that are absolutely having a ball. And if you can figure out what the fuck is going on, send us an email. Thanks, as always, for liking, subscribing, sharing, and all the bits in between. And we will be back next week with another movie, hopefully as bonkers as this one. See you later.
Take it easy.